everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are safe, you are well, and you are with someone you care about who also cares about you. If you haven't gone and watched our chicken and garden update, go and do it, because there's been some progress in the garden and I keep breaking things. Also, between me being outside this morning and coming outside now, we've got lots and lots of tree leaves that have fallen down. There must have been a big old storm pass through. I know that is true, but the amount of leaves we have on our driveway is kind of shocking. What is also shocking, did you see how I did that? I did the weave, what is it that Donald Trump calls it? The weave. And what is shocking is the fact that when we came back from our trip to Los Angeles on at the start of October to see the new Bolt EV, we noticed that one of the headlights in my wife's Bolt EV had blown. The bulb kept going off and then you had to turn the lights back on to get the bulb to come back on. Turns out that it's probably the HID headlight bulb has given up the ghost. That normally happens around the 6 to 10 years into the vehicle's life. And this vehicle is now 8 years old. So it is in line for a replacement in that regard. And so what we did was we rang around the dealership to see if we could get a part and a quote for a part and a quote to fix it. Now, my local Chevrolet dealership, which I've referred to not so lovingly on the channel before as Bob's Chevrolet. Please excuse me, I'm going to put my hood up because it's raining now. Bob's Chevrolet, and now my head has disappeared. Bob's Chevrolet gave us a quote for about, I think it was like $700 or $800 just for the bulbs, and that's not fitting them. Now, apparently online, several places now say it's over $1,000 to replace the headlight bulbs on your Bolt EV. Now, I know it never used to be quite that expensive. And that brings me to the question of today's video, which is if you own an older EV, has your local dealership / garage become less enthusiastic to work on it? Now, I know that that's a fairly normal thing in the EV world, as it is in the internal combustion engine vehicle world, right? As a vehicle gets older, it's less likely that the company that made it or their dealerships will want to work on it. The exception, for some reason, at least for many years, was Volvo. I remember back in the UK when I had a Volvo 240, there was a dealership about 70, 80 miles away from me that loved working on original old Volvos. Like, you would go in there and go, hey, I need this thing for my 1990s Volvo. And they'd be like, great, let's get you sorted. And they charged no more or less than they did with, you know, more modern vehicles. But over the years, I've encountered my fair share of dealerships and garages when faced with a vehicle that is normally out of warranty. They just try and make the cost so cost prohibitive that you're just going to go and either buy a new vehicle, do the repair yourself, or go and find somebody else to repair it for you. I know when we had the Volkswagen Golf City Stroma, that's my 1984 car, that was actually my wedding car, only 2 or 3 right-hand drive versions were made, and I owned one of them for a while. I ended up selling it back to Volkswagen. It's now in Volkswagen's museum in the UK. When I needed parts for that, I actually had to take the car to the garage and show them the vehicle and prove that it was an actual Volkswagen, because the parts department said that vehicle didn't exist, they never made it, blah, blah, blah. And it took an older member of staff going back and looking on the microfiche to actually find the parts and prove that, yes, it had a parts catalogue and they could order the part that way. But I'm curious as to if you have noticed a change. Maybe you have a newer EV, one that was made in the last, 3 or 4 years, and it's just out of warranty, and you're trying to buy parts for it, and maybe you've discovered that the parts availability seems to have kind of fallen off a cliff. Maybe you have an EV that was made in smaller quantities, I don't know, maybe a Spark EV or maybe a Kia Soul EV, and you're now discovering that getting spare parts for it is proving problematic, and also finding a dealership willing to work with you on the vehicle is problematic. Now, in the case of my Bolt, what we're going to do, in fact, what we've already done is ordered some replacement bulbs ourselves. We're not going to replace the ballast. We're going to try the bulbs and see if they work. And if they don't work, then we'll replace the ballast too. The ballasts are a little bit more expensive, but the whole process is so costly and expensive because in order to replace the bulbs on the Bolt EV, you have to remove the front of the vehicle. Now, I happen to be quite handy with a wrench, and I have friends who are handy with a wrench, and I have a set of tools. We also have a way of covering the driveway so that we can actually work on the vehicle even if it's like today and it's raining. We can work on the vehicle in relative comfort. We used to have a garage, and then now it's a wood shop, and I love my wife, so I'm not going to moan about it because she makes amazing stuff in the wood shop. I'm not gonna begrudge her that. But we're probably gonna do it ourselves, and we'll make a video about it for TE, and it'll be good because maybe it'll make us a little bit of money in the process. Not that many of our videos make money these days, but you know what I mean. But not everybody has that ability or that privilege, and I'm curious as to if this is causing you to question your EV ownership experience, and also, of course, how should I put this? In an age where some automakers are working very hard to go back on their previous EV promises, I am concerned that we're going to see automakers that are currently, willing to work on EVs turning around and going, actually, no, this is too much. This is too much of a problem. We're not going to do it. I've heard some really horrible horror stories on the West Coast of Ford and GM dealerships who are like, you didn't buy the vehicle from us, therefore we're not working on it. And I know that's true of EVs and ICE vehicles as well, but that just smacks of, please buy another vehicle from us or we're not going to talk to you. And I really hate that. I mean, I'm not going to lie about that. That is like a red flag to me. And I would just go, no, screw you. I'm going to do it myself. Which is kind of where I was when the local parts department of the local Bob's Chevrolet said, no, it's going to cost you this many monies. And I was like, just for the parts? Yeah, forget it, mate. I'm going to do it myself. So let me know in the down below if you have noticed a change in attitudes towards EV after sales service and repair. Have you noticed a dealership that was once really pro EV turn to be less so? I mean, I would expect certain dealerships are going to be worse than others in that regard. So, for example, in the early days, Nissan Leafs were very popular in many markets, and a lot of dealerships had EV service tech, but now, Nissan's kind of gone backwards on EVs quite considerably. Maybe you have encountered a local Nissan dealership that will only service the Aria and the new Leaf now that it's come out in some markets, but they won't touch the old one. Let's name and shame. And let's do the opposite as well. Let's praise dealerships that still are happily servicing your EV many, many years after it rolled off the production line. This is especially true if you are someone with, I don't know, a Mercedes-Benz B-Class ED from the very early days of this current round of EVs, or perhaps you have a Toyota RAV4, like either the original one, the original OG RAV4 EV, or maybe a second generation RAV4 EV, and you just know someone locally that you can take it to and get it serviced. Because, keeping our vehicles on the road, keeping them serviced is important for both our safety and also our vehicle's long life. And not everyone wants to have a vehicle that they have to tinker on at the weekend. You know, it's very nice for me to own my Vectrex VX1, but if it was my only vehicle, I wouldn't want that to be my only vehicle, because if it goes off the road or if it needs repairs or replacement, and I'm relying on it to get me to work on Monday morning, that induces a lot of frustration and fear and complexity. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why Vi gave up the Volt with a V and went to a Bolt with a B, was because the Volt was proving too costly to repair, but also too unreliable to be used as a daily driver. If they had a different car as a daily driver, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But I'm cognizant that not everybody has the luxury of multiple vehicles. Not everybody has the luxury of a knowledge base and a skill set and a set of tools that allow them to work on the vehicle themselves. So leave all of your stories, your criticisms, and also your uplifting bits for dealerships in the down below. And hopefully next week when I speak to you, A, it won't be quite as wet and horrible, and B, maybe the leaves will have tidied themselves up a bit. We can live in hope, right? Thanks for watching today. You can connect with us on Patreon, Discord, Mastodon, Blue Sky, or through our website. Massive thanks to the amazing folks scrolling by right now. You are the reason we can stay independent and keep making content without corporate influence. Want to see your name listed here too? Support starts at just $1.50 a month, and you can now even gift memberships. And of course, a massive welcome to our newest members: Adam B, Andrew Brown, Tiara Graves, Philip Jackson, Dieter Mulhop, Noor Naif, Anonymous, Todd Plenis, Barus Sharati, Andrei Starsky, Ralph Stoltz, Richard Teague, Triple A He They, Lisa Vargi, Vicky Morales, Magpie Motors, and Travis Whitman. Thank you for joining up to support the channel. At this particular time in history when everyone's feeling the pinch, we are so grateful that you've joined the team, and that allows us to keep making great content. If you'd like to join them, you'll find our Patreon link below, or you can sign up via YouTube. If you're signing up for Patreon though, please go to the Patreon website. Do not use the Apple or Google app, since both take a big cut that hurts your wallet and reduces the income we receive. Prefer a one-off contribution? We've got Ko-fi, Bitcoin, a PO box, our swag store, and even an Amazon affiliate link, all great ways to make sure your money helps us. We post new videos every few days on the main channel, plus extras over on TE Take 2. And since YouTube comments, while open, aren't safe for us, the best way to chat with the team is through Patreon, Mastodon, Blue Sky, or our website, or in fact, our Discord chat. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we'd love you to check out this one instead. Be awesome, be kind, be intentional, and never forget to resist. Keep evolving.